I guess the first lesson for people is to find something that you can do all day long and focus on that.
We have people that are, just so you know, Dr. Berg, who we're talking to, we have a lot of people on Facebook. We have some people on YouTube. These people that are here, they have a message and they want to get out to the world and they want to spread this message. But they struggle in the subject of content creation and setting a routine for themselves. What can you tell us, Doc? What has been your process over the last, what is it now, Doc? 12 years? 14 years? How long have you been doing this for?
Well, probably 29, actually. So,
right, but you started with what? Doing seminars locally, Doc? What was the route like for you?
Well, I think it kind of started out of pain and fear. I had a fear of public speaking all through school, all through college, and then I went to, before you graduated, you had to give this speech in front of your peers, and I was mortified. I was this close to dropping out of college. So I was like, okay, so maybe I should drop out. And so I actually, you know what I did to overcome my fear of public speaking? I actually drank some alcohol. That was a big disaster because that it went south. And so it was even worse than I thought. So it was terrible. And then I graduated, I went out to practice and just floundering. And then I was in another situation where I was kind of forced to go up on stage and speak. Another bad experience. And so at that point, I'm like, you know what? I got to figure this out. So I found a seminar, how to overcome your fear of public speaking, and I overcame that fear. But then I started to reverse the flow and started doing presentations, starting with a little flip chart in my office in the dark, you know, with a little slideshow where they did before you had even computers, and little classes I would do. And at that time I was serving champagne to get them loosened up so they would laugh at my jokes. And then that graduated into more and more and more to the point where I did 4,900 seminars in a row.
Wow.
I was doing seminars to governmental agencies on health. So every day I'd go out there, do another seminar, in-house, outhouse, or outhouse, or go into different organizations. And I did presentations to the FBI, Library of Congress, Department of Health, like all these different places in Washington, D.C., in Northern Virginia.
Do we have videos of that, Doc? I would love to see that.
Yes, I do. I have videos of that. And
so it goes back 29 years in this process.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, wow. I was just doing seminars. So this is way before YouTube. And then, you know, I'm kind of like a truth seeker. I like to find out how things work, you know, the mystery of things. And the body is just like so many different mysteries. So that's one thing. If I can do anything, and it's just basically study and learn about the body and then teach it. That's what I love doing. So it's not really hard for me to do this. So I guess the first lesson for people is to find something that you can do all day long and focus on that, because, you know, some people look at like, how do you get up early in the morning and literally do this all day? I mean, like, because that's what I love doing.
I'm 100% with you. So it's like what I like to tell people is that something that you're talking about it on your breakfast, on your lunch, on your dinner. Your family is tired of hearing it.
Yeah, my wife is very tired of hearing it in the morning.
My wife is really tired of hearing it. You know, Dr. Berg, like obviously you and my dad are friends. I go way back with my dad sitting down at dinner when I was 8 years old, and this individual could not talk about anything else. The subject was very, very limited, and he couldn't stop questioning what we were eating or talking about the discovery. Or it's kind of like that makes the job that much easier. Like myself, you know me already enough. I don't stop thinking about the subject of attention. So much so that my company is called Attention Grabbing Media. It's an obsession. It's like, I like to tell them, we like to use the word obsession as a positive word. It's we can't put our attention somewhere else for too long, because that's what we think about all the time. So I would imagine that makes your job of content creation that much easier, because you're so into it. You want to discover something new, right? You're always looking for truth. Like you said, a truth seeker.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started doing these seminars all over the place. And in that time I was in practice, and I was working one-on-one with a lot of people over many, many years, and just loved it. And come home and just tell my wife, like, you wouldn't believe what happened to this person right here. I did this. And then I started to learn about nutrition and apply different things, different techniques. And I always told my wife, I said, if more people knew about what we do here, they would just be blown away. And then when YouTube came out, I did a couple really kind of, I don't know if you call it old school, but just prehistoric videos with a little flip phone. And it was just terrible, terrible sound. In fact, poor editing to the point where one time I did a presentation. This is actually before flip phones. I remember doing a slideshow on my wall in my living room, and I uploaded the wrong file to YouTube. And it was the file that I got really frustrated and I started swearing and everything like that. So that's the one that got uploaded. But I got a lot of views and people just loved it. They were like, wow, this is great. And then I realized I was mortified They says, oh, I heard Dr. Berg never swears. And
I don't think I've ever heard Dr. Berg swear yet. I haven't seen that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I haven't shown you that video yet. But so then it kind of, I didn't really start doing more videos until years later. I would put one out maybe once every so often. And I didn't, and I had a lot of views, but it was like at that time when YouTube first started, you can get a lot of views very easily. Now it's more difficult. So things just started going. I started putting more videos out and webinars, and again, bad lighting and bad sound. And to the point where at one point I told my wife, I said, I think I'm going to do YouTube videos full time. And she goes, okay, but I can't do both. I can't do practice and I can't, she goes, so I'm going to stop practicing. And well, are you going to sell the practice? I said, no, I'm just going to work on the people I have, not accept any new people for a year, and then I will just do the YouTube. She goes, excuse me, what? I said, well, it's just what I really want to do. I really want to do this. And so I talked her into it. So anyways,
what year was that, Doug? What year was that?
2004? 2004?
2004.
No. It was
no, it has to be a little bit later because I think YouTube.
2009.
Right.
Yeah, 2009.
It makes more sense. So she just basically was probably like, what the heck is going on with my husband, right? Like he's this massive shift.
I kind of change a lot through my profession. I can't just do one thing over and over, but this is something, the ability to, I got myself in a nice position where I can just do what I really love doing all day long and sharing with people. So that's one thing. Like number one is finding something that you can do all day long, which is, like you got to really dig deep and find out. I like to see that the health profession is very easy. The health field is very easy to do this on because there are so many lies, false information in this area that you can uncover the truth. There's so many unknowns. Like if you take a look at Merck's Manual, for example, that's like a medical, like kind of a pathology book, you will find that the cause of 80% of these diseases and things are unknown cause. I'm like, oh, let me find out what's causing that, right? So a lot of information is suppressed. So a lot of my videos is about uncovering like what's really causing something. Where are the links to things? And now the other thing that I have an advantage is that I've been in practice so long. These guys that come out that are experts in whatever, and they haven't practiced, they haven't experienced, they have a huge disadvantage because when you start working on people and you apply these things and you find out, oh, this works for a while, then it doesn't work, you really start to expand your viewpoint out of the box to the point where you try things that you would normally never try. So you have to get really creative and research different things and figure stuff out to the point where now when I actually do research for a video, I'm using all that as well. The big problem that content creators have when they do content is they outsource that part of the hat. Big mistake. You don't want to hire someone, outsource to do your content creation, because if you just do search on content, any type of health topic in the area of, on Google, for example, you are going to get the first 5 to 10 pages is going to be pure garbage information. In fact, you can use the information, but more like an opposite day. You just kind of like whatever they're promoting, do the exact opposite, because
so it's almost like marketers invade these pages and it's full of trash instead of real content.
Yes, and all this, a lot of this happened like last October. there was a shift. Like all of a sudden, you couldn't even find some of my videos, or I was ranking, now it's gone. And then you search any topic, and the first page is all like medical and news, hidden as health. And I'm reading this stuff, I'm like, what the heck? This is all garbage, recycled information. But what they did to play the game, to get ranking, is they do what's called fact checkers. So you have to have fact checkers. And so all these people are giving me advice. Well, you need to hire medical doctors to be a fact checker. So I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can't. That's just like, no, I'm not going to do that. Hire someone to put their stamp on my content, that it's legit. No, I'm not going to do that. So that's kind of the game right now. And so unfortunately, people have a hard time finding good content, finding the truth about health. So one of the things that I do to do my own research, and I do all my own research, I don't outsource that part of it. And so like I'll dig in, like for example, here's an example of a textbook on bile salts in your gallbladder, right? This is an old book.
Put it more in the center, Doc, because we're splitting the screen there. Yeah, we see it. Okay.
Some of these textbooks are, first of all, very expensive. They're very old, but they're filled with gold.
It's real data, facts.
It's real physiology.
Things that have been proven.
Yeah, like amazing research. I'll show you another one, right? Like here's another compilation of research on cruciferous vegetables and cancer.
Right.
Like, I mean, you can't find this anywhere. So I found it, very expensive, and now it's consolidating all this research. I'm like, it would take me years to put everything together. But then what you do is you study it with medical dictionaries, because it's very difficult to get through it without doing that. And then you get connections and links and missing pieces of the puzzle that people are having a problem with. So it's a combination of doing that type of research, things that I'm very interested in, and then educating people, try to break it down in a simple way, as well as studying what people are saying in comments. I spend a lot of time reviewing comments, finding out what people are really interested in, and answering their questions.
Yeah, so you can service that, which is great. Like there's a tool that I recommend in the content creation process for people that you have your process, and we can talk a little bit more about your process, and you're explaining that. But there's a tool that I've used that I recommended for people. It's called answerthepublic.com.
Yeah.
If you go to that website and you type in a keyword, whatever that is, gardening, health, or whatever that it may be, which is pretty much enormous, you're going to get real questions that people are asking, and it's based on their actual queries on Google, social media, and then you get to see that information, and that's your job. So just to give you guys more of a specific, we have a lot of people here. I know that there's people from all types of different models. We have realtors, we have like accountants, gardeners, we have people that have a toy line, and it's a huge gamut of different businesses and ideas and content. So let's say, for example, Doc, you're a content creation machine. So am I. I haven't been doing this as long as you have, but I'm doing, at this point, 400 publications a week. And sometimes people ask me, well, how much content should I do? And my answer is always how big are your goals? How big are your expectations for your message? How many people do you want to reach? And based on that, you got to go in line with that exact thing. So in my case, I have big goals. I want to reach a lot of people. I want to save a lot of businesses, etc. So I'm doing a lot. So you have to find out what works for you.